Hey, Stewart. Welcome to GoCast. How are you?
I am as right as rain, Julian. I couldn't be more excited to jump on this show with you today.
That's super fun, super casual. We're wearing sunglasses, and I have to admit, it's not my classic style. I'm here to just make you more comfortable because, the Quebec guy interviewing the super, well-known and renowned Stewart Pelto. But, before I spoil anything, can you please introduce yourself, who you are, where you come from?
By the way, your sunglasses, they magically have the perfect tint to match your blazer. So you're impossibly stylish, and I'm burning up with jealousy because I have to hide half my face just to make sure you don't run away from me while we're trying to talk. So my name is Stewart Arthur Pelto. I am here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I come from a background of cybersecurity sales. Of course, Julien used to be my boss and still is spiritually. Okay, guys, he still is spiritually. He's in that space in my heart. I host a Bitcoin podcast for beginners where we bring people on the show who don't have any Bitcoin. We figure out what's holding them back from stacking their first sats, and then we help them get their very first little stack of Bitcoin right here on the show. And sometimes we also bring Bitcoiners on and we just pull their stories out of them so that beginners can listen along and go, wow, okay, I get it. I'm ready to get started. So that's me.
Can I pause you here just for a second? So 2 questions. First, you said SAT. If you can just explain to everyone, what is SAT?
So the name of the show is Sat Chats. It's the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about sats. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. Each Bitcoin has 100 million sats, or Satoshis, inside of it. So you don't need 115,960 US dollars to get started. You can get 900 sats for $1 right now.
And that's it.
That's it. We just say, look, just buy $50 worth of Bitcoin this month. Keep listening to Sat Chats. And next month, you can decide whether you want to buy $50 more. Okay. Most of us will spend $50 taking our family to one meal. And not even a night meal like you and I had back in our day, just a regular old fast food chicken sandwich and fries type meal. They'll spend $50 on that. Just skip that one time. Put $50 worth into Bitcoin. You'll get 45,000 Satoshis. It feels amazing.
I like that. Second question. You and I in Lexington together. Won't go over all of the story and the super memory we have, but I recall you had a conversation around someone that found coins. It feels like you have something with coins. Can you talk a bit about what happened that day?
Well, I clearly do have something with coins, and one of my deepest regrets is this opportunity came along. I couldn't pass it up, but I had to sacrifice any future GoSecure coins that I might have been able to earn underneath your tutelage, because my understanding is that there were some pretty rare coins to be achieved at GoSecure. So you and I were in Kentucky for a horse race with my top client, and I had spent the day previous learning about this Kentucky gold hoard. Some guy had been in some farmland with a metal detector, and the metal detector went off, unearthed, I think it was 800 gold coins that had been stashed in Kentucky during the Civil War. And they were covered in mud because it was almost near a stream bed. If this guy had decided to clean off the gold coins with a toothbrush to kind of see what he had, he would have scratched the surface of the coin and destroyed over half its collectible value. It would still be valuable in terms of it's just straight up gold, but someone who wants a gold coin from the Civil War, they want it in mint condition. So he called some guy in Kentucky who just so happens to be a global gold expert and said, I think I have something. The gold expert said, stop what you're doing. Let's take out insurance on what you found. Let's personally escort this gold together on an airplane flight to Florida, where a company will specialize in cleaning, grading, and protecting what you found. It ended up being $2 or $3 million worth of gold that this guy just lucked in. USD, yes, because it was a rare gold coin that was struck during the Civil War that had more collectability than other. It was wild, man. So yes, I do think I have something with coins.
Let's go back to, if you don't mind, cybersecurity. You started where, how, and how did you end up from cyber into the Sat Chat podcast?
Okay, so I got my start And I'm gonna do this quick because I'm famously long-winded. I graduated with a master's degree from America's oldest public university directly into the Great Recession, where there were no jobs for a highly educated fellow like me. I managed to get a foothold in Washington, D.C. politics. And after I found that area was gross and full of terrible people, I moved over into marketing, copywriting, and sales, and then fully into sales at a software development agency. I was selling custom software. If you were a startup and you couldn't find the software you needed to succeed, you could pay us. We would build it from scratch for you. And from custom software, I went into software as a service. And around that time, I was selling what they call human capital management, which is fancy for HR, payroll, time tracking, just salt of the earth type business administration stuff. And I'm like, this is fine, but it's not my passion. And I was more interested in cybersecurity than I was in human resources, because human resources, that interesting, Julian, not that interesting. But I was trying to teach myself about cybersecurity by listening to a podcast called Darknet Diaries. This guy does fantastic job of talking about the time where the Lazarus group of North Korea managed to jump into some Bitcoin hot wallets and make off with this digital wealth to fund their country. Or, the time where some guy figures out how to file fraudulent tax claims for dead people to make like $300,000 a week. Just wild cybersecurity stories that were so interesting to me. And I decided to put my hat into the ring during a very hot job market back in like 2021, where venture capital was just exploding everywhere into cybersecurity. And I managed to kind of translate my software as a service background into selling cybersecurity software as a service with a company called Security Compass. They do threat modeling and things, and eventually landed with you at GoSecure, which was an absolute blast and a very cherished memory of mine, because it's very hard for me to have a boss, Julian, because my personality type is defective. But you managed to be a good boss. So it was really nice to work with you. And, you and I did well. We landed that big old client in Kentucky and went off to watch the horses race. And we tried to bet on horses, but none of us could get any of our money together. I didn't have any cash. You didn't have any cash. My debit card wouldn't let me pull out money. I'm like, dude, can I just bet on these horses? I tried to do it through the app and they said, I'm sorry, you live in North Carolina, you can't gamble on something in Kentucky, even though you're in Kentucky. The whole thing was a mess. But one of my really good buddies here in Raleigh, he's the CEO of Ithaca Hummus, which you actually can't see in this shot. But Ithaca Hummus is a very successful hummus business. He and I are very close friends, and he wanted to start a Bitcoin business with me because Ithaca Hummus was his fiat company that makes US dollars, but he wanted to make a Bitcoin company that makes Bitcoin, and we couldn't figure out. I just said, look, man, that's cool. I appreciate you. I'm not an entrepreneur. I got a really good thing going here at GoSecure. I have a lucrative cybersecurity career. That's not me. As a business owner and a successful guy, he was like, I think actually a Bitcoin podcast is the way to go. I can put in enough seed capital to take care of all your needs while we get this off the ground. And after much soul searching in among friends and family, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I've ever done this before, but I'm going to leave something good to try to do something even greater. And that's where I am today.
You know what? We're still in relation. And honestly, you really created something here. That contract that you referred to is still like one of the top golden thing that we look like up in the sky. Let's do it again, right? You left your mark. Super great presence at GoSecure. And was the hummus a bit involved in your decision maybe? Because you probably have like unlimited hummus every day, right?
Access to delicious hummus was part of the deal. I'm trying to get big enough and strong enough to lift these legendary stones of Iceland. And by the way, I'm literally leaving next Wednesday to go try to lift these things, Julian. So I needed access to calories so that I could build strength. The hummus might have been part of it, but I got to tell you, it literally is a weight off my shoulders to know that I had a positive impact and left my mark at GoSecure, because I'm a people pleaser and I hate letting people down. And it felt like I was letting you all down to step away after we really were just getting started.
Sorry, I agree. Absolutely agree. Yeah. Well, let's change gear because I'm going to cry. Otherwise, you left already and I don't want to, turn things around again. But Bitcoin, cybersecurity, crypto, what's your take on that?
They're really intertwined for me because through my time teaching myself about cybersecurity through darknet diaries and other places, Bitcoin came up time and time again because it was a digital money that works on the internet. And if your cybersecurity posture is poor as an individual, or these days as a company, an institution, even an exchange, somebody can come along and gain unauthorized access to your device, open up your Bitcoin wallet, and send those funds to themselves. So it's a way to make money online as a hacker. You don't need to go into a bank or into someone's home to grab their cash from them. It's almost like if you're there to steal their data and it just so happens they have Bitcoin as well, you might as well grab it. So the world of cybersecurity and Bitcoin are intertwined for me. And it's really fascinating to see that my interest in cybersecurity and in privacy to kind of harden my personal life and my devices against intruders also allows me to more effectively safeguard this generational wealth that I'm trying to stack up, $50 worth of Satoshis at a time.
Nice. Very nice. Well, Stewart, it's the time we had. It's super short, I know, but we'll resume that conversation. And you know what? Next time you're in person, we interview Chris as well, and we go further in the conversation. Again, thank you very much for your time, and wish you a good day.
Yeah, Julian, I guess there's just any amount of time with you is not enough time, but thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
I know. Chatchats.com if you guys want to check us out.
Highly recommend your podcast, satchat.com. Thank you very much again, Stewart. Take care.
Bye.